Hello everyone, hello, and welcome to this Alkhemystix video. I am of course your Alchemistic Bettina Elizabeth, and today we are going to talk about having things to lose, because most of us always, and when I say always, I mean always, have something to lose. And the thing is, when you have something to lose, well, now you always have something to fear. And I'll say it again for you. When you always have something to lose, you always have something to fear. Fear is huge on this earth. This earth, of course, is built on duality, but it is also built on fear. Plain and simple. I know many of you have heard the term fear-mongering. If you're not familiar with the term fear-mongering, just turn on the news. Open a newspaper. You'll see it firsthand every single day. Fear, while we may see fear as a form of emotion within us, fear in actuality is a tool. It is a tool. And I say it's a tool specifically because fear is actually not really natural, if you think about it. One thing that we have when it comes to actual emotions, okay? When it comes to actual emotions, most of those they're inherent in us. They come naturally to us. For little children, if you look at a baby, love comes naturally. It comes naturally to that baby. Happiness comes naturally to that baby. There are things that come naturally to us as children. One of those things, though, isn't fear. It's not fear. For those of you who are parents who have watched your children, one thing you will notice that when it comes to most children, like babies, when they're growing up, one thing they lack is fear. Especially if they're like my little people, okay? You'll notice one thing they lack is fear. They'll do just about anything if you give them a chance. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, they'll do about anything because they just don't know. They're learning. Okay, yes, this may be true. Well, this is true. They are learning. But not only are they learning, they lack fear while they're learning. Any child who's learning to walk or learning to climb, they'll climb just about anything. They'll give you heart attacks watching them climb things. Climbing bookcases and, standing on top of their toys to climb on top of something else, something that has wheels and can roll right under them, They don't care. They don't care. They'll do it because they lack fear. Fear, when it comes to children, isn't something naturally inherent in them. It's something that we instill in them. Right? Of course. How many times have you fussed at your child to get down before they hurt themselves? Don't do this. You can hurt yourself. And the thing is, when it comes down to it, we could go about teaching our children to not do things in a way that doesn't instill fear in them. But most of us don't have that type of knowledge to do so because how we were raised instill fear in us, and we just automatically think to do that. We do what will instill fear in our children. We'll yell at them, scare them. When you're telling your child to do something, it's quiet, and all of a sudden you're yelling. Oh, that's going to scare them. Even being scared of things is something that over time children learn because of outside forces. So even that fear is built off of outside forces. Things that make them jump, things that make them cry, things like that. It's coming from some sort of outside force that is instilling that in your children, that, okay, now I'm scared. Now this is scary. But I say all this to say, the point of it, as I know I was about to go off on a tangent, but the point was that, when it comes to fears and holding on to fears, for the main part, that is a learned behavior. Whether it's something that you learned firsthand by going through something, or that you learned secondhand by watching it happen to someone else. It's a learned behavior. But how do we unlearn it? Is there a way to unlearn it? Because when you look how important fear is in this world, to the fact that it's used against us every single day as a tool, when you look at it from that perspective, seeing that you basically have been conditioned from childhood to learn all types of fears, then there has to be a reason, or there has to be a way, rather, to unlearn it. And there would have to be a point to unlearning it, something beneficial to you. And of course, we know what that is for the most part. That would be when you lack, or at least minimize, fear. It can free you to doing things that you never would have dreamed of doing before. Now, of course, you're going to hear it said that, you can't remove fear. It's impossible. And in some instances, fear can be a good thing. And it can be. I'm not going to say it's not. Sometimes it's healthy to have a bit of fear. But I think we all can agree that the level of fear that the majority of us harbor within ourselves is not healthy or beneficial to us at all. At all. When you have something to lose, you will always have fear. And right now, that is something that rules our lives. So how could that be healthy or beneficial? It not only rules our individual lives, but then we have the audacity to project that fear onto others, to try to force them to, stay in line, to try to force them to do what is socially expected of them. Why? Why? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to try to force someone else to live by your social constructs that are based on fear just because you fear, but we do it anyway. But why do we do it? We do it, of course, because this world is built on fear. It keeps us all toeing the line, or most of us anyway, to the point where we will make sure that others toe the line as well. And don't be different. Don't cross that line. Because then you become a social outcast. Now, thankfully, though, with this new age that we have entered, with the age of Aquarius, we see things slowly but surely changing. But in the meantime, we have work to do, because it's time for us to start freeing ourselves from this fear. It's time for us to stop worrying ourselves and start freeing ourselves from always being scared of what we have to lose. No matter if it's your house, no matter if it's your car, no matter if it's your job, no matter even if it's the love of your children and the respect of your children. One thing when it comes to freeing ourselves from fear that we have got to realize, or that can help us rather, is realizing that everything that happens in this lifetime, no matter if it's losing 5 houses, 4 cars, the respect of all of your children, whatever, 20 jobs, whatever it is you signed up for in this lifetime for a reason. And if you truly not just understand that, but take it into a point where that you're living your everyday understanding that changes a lot. That changes a lot. Because it allows you to understand, or it allows you really to start freeing yourself from a lot of these worldly attachments. Excuse me, somebody's dog. But yeah, and that is one of the main things, because many of us are way too attached to this world, and we say we're not. We say we're spiritual, we say we're this, we say we're that, but are you really? Are you really? If all you're worried about is how comfortable you can make yourself in this world. And I'm not saying don't make yourself comfortable in this world. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is, if that is what encompasses all of your thoughts, then are you really freeing yourself? You're not. You're not. If anything, since that is what's on your mind all the time, then really, you're just tying yourself more to this third dimension material plane. That's all you're doing. You're locking yourself in more, because you're always worried about what you have. You're always worried about what you could lose. That's not how it's supposed to be. If you're such a spiritual person, then what the main thing that you need to be worrying about losing is your spirit. That's what you should be worried about. That's what should be encompassing the most of your thoughts and your time. What you can do to elevate and free your spirit, to become more spiritual. Like I said, I'm not saying that you're supposed to be here broke. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying, though, is how much you have and what you have and what you're able to hold on to isn't supposed to be what occupies so much of your thoughts and time. I thought the point of being spiritual was for us to want to free ourselves from this, right? I don't know about a lot of you, but for me personally, I want to be free of this. I want to transcend this. And I know that I signed up for this for a reason. Everything that I have lost and everything that I will lose in the future, I signed up for it for a reason. So instead of worrying about losing it, my mind is going to be worried about, okay, what am I supposed to be learning now? So that way I can move to my next level. What am I supposed to be taking from this? Because if you signed up for it to happen, it's going to happen regardless, whether you sit and stress or sit and worry about it or not. But what it really could be is that you are supposed to be going in you, to be guided towards something else, instead of spending so much time worrying about all of this outside of you and everything wrong that's going on. It could be that you're supposed to be blocking that out and going in you. And maybe that will be what saves you. There are so many people out here that say that they're worried about, not worried, but they're not going to allow people to do this to them, and they're not going to allow people to do that to them, and tear down what they've built, and this and that and the third. But the thing is, whatever you signed up for in this lifetime is what's going to be regardless. So if you signed up for in this lifetime to leave a strong legacy behind that transcends you, then that's what's going to happen. And the only thing that you have to do is stay on your path. Right? You shouldn't have to worry about any of that other stuff. Or anyone else. The only thing you should have to worry about is staying true to you and staying on your path to help elevate your spirit. That's all you should have to do. This this video actually is starting to get a little bit longer than I initially intended, but yeah, we have got to learn to let go and stop worrying about what we have to lose. When spirit comes and says, okay, it's time to leave this alone, it's time to let this go, then what we really need to be doing is saying, okay, let's get it out of here. Let's go. And you see a lot of posts on social media about people doing that with other people. Hey, if I have to let this person go, then, they're gone. I'll let them go. You see that. You see posts about, releasing from you what no longer serves you. But let's be honest. When it comes to these material items, how quick are you to let it go? How open are you to letting it go? How quick, That's the question. That's the real test. Because they say you can't take none of this shit with you. And you can't, right? Doesn't matter how much you amass, you can't take it with you. And it doesn't matter how much you amass, it's not going to help you in that next life. especially if you have to come back down here, right? It's not going to be there automatically for you. Well, of course, like I said though, I'm not telling you to be broke. I don't think anybody should be broke. The universe is way too abundant in its limitlessness for us to be broke. But we also need to realize that while we can be abundant in all things, first we have to be abundant in ourselves. And one step for us to being abundant in ourselves is first realizing that none of this shit is important. At any time it can go. And then our spirit will call to us something better or something else that we actually really need. As long as you stay on your path. And as long as you stay open to truly hearing the guidance from yourself. So that is all I have to say, you guys. I will talk to you soon. I'm actually in the midst of doing a whole bunch of things right now. So I might miss some videos. Like I know it's been a while since I've been on one, but you know where I am. If you guys need me, you can reach out on Facebook at Alkhemystix. Yeah, I will talk to you guys soon.